Welcome to another podcast episode with Talk Your Truth Thursday. I got with me today the one and only. I'm gonna do better than that. It's not the one and only. This guy right here, let me gently introduce him and then let him introduce himself, because I don't want to disrespect the fact that we're in his neighborhood, we're in this area, we're in his county, we're in this town, that luxurious Woodstock, Georgia. My man Chris Thom, how's it doing?
Hey, everything is good. Everything is good.
Say no more, baby boy. Hey, look, man, I appreciate you making some time. I had to come way out here to this sunny part of the state to be able to have a conversation with you, man. What's good?
Nah, everything is good, man. Everything is good. Just out here, doing a bunch of different things.
Like what?
Oh, man, you want me to reveal everything?
Now, just give us a little something. I know you're out here. Now, let me level the ground for you now. The guy's a real estate professional. He's an entrepreneur. He's a serial entrepreneur. He's always looking for opportunities to be able to make an indentation in his community and also be able to empower people. And I don't think people understand how much of an impact you make in Woodstock, Georgia. So I want you to explain a little bit of that to them.
All right, so a big part of, again, appreciate the intro, a big part of what I do is networking, and through networking, it allows me to turn renters into homeowners.
Right.
And that's a big part of my initiative, just really trying to get as many homeowners in homes. Right now, it's no secret. The market is different.
And a little different.
Interest rates are a little higher,
right,
but that doesn't change my initiative. What that allows me to do is I got to think about pivoting my mindset. All right, which way can I still tap into what I need to tap into and still, provide value? And a big thing of mine, talking about being an entrepreneur, me and a partner of mine, we started a new company called M&T Capital Consultants.
Okay.
What that's going to do is that's going to provide financing to builders, which would allow them to grow and scale so we can provide more housing opportunities. Because right now, we're still in the housing shortage.
Sure. So
that's just, that's just a little bit.
Well, let's dial it back a little bit and talk about who you are. I know you serve in the you currently serve in the military still, right?
Yes, I'm in the reserve. Right.
So you do a little bit. When you say a little bit of this, you're serving your country, you're making an impact in your community. And what one of your favorite charities that you like to give to or give back to?
Ooh, one of my favorite charities.
Here it is.
So one that I give back, through excess, not even in talking about capital. One is what is it called? I think it's Vietnam Veterans of America.
Nice.
So pretty much you can, if you have an overage of shoes, clothes, anything that's in your home, you can call them to come out and pick up those things.
Nice.
And it'll benefit, veterans, Vietnam veterans.
So these are the Vietnamese people, or these are veterans that served in Vietnam?
Veterans that served in Vietnam.
Nice. Because I was like, okay, then how did you connect with the Vietnamese folks? But you would do that also because you're all about all the people.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Let's take it back to the aspect also is that, your clothing, your gear, the way you maneuver in these big areas, and demographically, you're kind of great because you're accepted for your style, the way you get down, and folks don't be putting up those roadblocks. How have you navigated that to be so successful?
Man, just be true to myself.
True to yourself.
Right? And that's one thing, no matter what room that I'm in, that's one of the things that I always mention, be true to yourself. And to take it a step back, when I first started, this Realtor's Dope brand, obviously being in the community that I'm in, I'm like, oh man, how is it going to be received? Right. But then I had to, take a step back and you know what? This is me. This is who I am. There's no malice involved.
That's true.
Right. And it's just me just showing that this Realtor is dope. You know what I mean? And through that, I was able to create something else, which is real estate is dope, which I own the trademark to.
So you finally transitioned. I know you've done this Realtor is dope for such a long time. And for those who don't know, if you begin to maneuver around Metro Atlanta, especially on the north side, you might have seen things such as this Realtor is dope. Now, my man Chris been promoting that for the last 2 or 3 years, and it grew unknowing to him. I started seeing folks wearing the shirt. I would stop a few people and say, Chris, he said, no, but I just like the gear, I like the shirt. And I know that the Realtor piece was kind of difficult for you to trademark. And I see now that you twisted a little bit. Real estate is dope. So we all can participate. If you're in the real estate mindset and you're in the real estate business and you do anything with real estate, you too can subscribe to this. I mean, real estate is dope. I like the transition.
No, absolutely. I mean, and you touched on it. It allows people, because yes, this Realtor's Dope was hard to trademark.
Sure.
And that's still going to be my brand. Don't get it twisted now.
Right,
It's still going to be my brand.
That's still your thing.
But now Real Estate is Dope, speaks to the masses, right? Outside of me, right? This Realtor's Dope is singular. Real Estate is Dope is plural too.
Global.
Real estate as a whole.
So I'm in Chicago, I'm in Philly, I'm in Las Vegas. I can still rock that brand through you.
No, absolutely.
Oh, that's beautiful.
You could be anywhere in the world. Don't even just keep it, just the United States. You be anywhere in the world and just know the power of real estate and just how dope it actually is. How much people have built their wealth through real estate, right? And opportunities it provides. And that's really the meaning behind, just how dope it is. And I just add myself to it because I like to tap into those people and show people the way. Like, this could be, life-changing, generation.
Since a lot of folks don't know you, let me segue this. For example, one of the things I observed about you that I liked, you came out to a place called Canton, right? And you kind of like formed, you and some fellows, or some folks, that formed this business networking group.
Correct.
And it was like, the folks wasn't looking like you in the beginning. You was like a super minority, right? And I started seeing folks started like, this guy is different. He's not trying to assimilate. He wasn't wearing a suit, trying to get in with a vest and things of that nature. You came as you are. You started sporting your T-shirt, and y'all don't see all the gold around his neck. I'm not saying he's Mr. T cousin or nothing like that. And every once in a while, he pop it out. But you can rest assured that this guy right here, no matter what, he's always himself. How did you become so independent in your mindset that fear of being yourself was never an issue?
Man, I got to give a huge shout out, to my wife in this regard because, she's the one that kind of started the brand or created the brand for me. I just took it to the next level. Just got to give a big shout out to her because she created it. It was a gift. And it was just kind of something I was like, damn, I could really rock this. Like, this is me. This is how I talk. And yeah, I just kind of ran with it from there. And I just started building the brand behind that. And again, I had that, second thought, like, damn, I'm in a different community, right? I'm not in a predominantly black community. It's just like, man, forget that. I was like, man, forget that. Let me just be true to who I am.
That's true.
And really embody it. And it's not something that I had to work to embody. It was just something that it kind of fit with who I am anyway.
But a lot of people conform to the environment. And what you done was you kind of like say, you know what? How can I conform to something I'm not familiar with? You don't put a lion in with giraffe and expect it to act like a giraffe. So in essence, are you telling us that when you got in these rooms and you begin to network, you seen the opportunity for who you are to be just that and let that shine?
No, absolutely. Definitely seen the opportunity, but here's something else. Even if I didn't see the opportunity, why not create it?
Ooh.
You see what I'm saying? Why not make myself be in those roles, right? Why not just embody that whole experience, right? And showing even if they don't have someone like me in those rooms, and why they should have someone like me in those rooms. Because I'm humble, but I ain't dumb. You know what I mean? And I just feel like I belong. If I have the opportunity, I can feel like I belong in those rooms.
Well, why don't you walk me through some simple steps of networking? If I'm a person that needs to network, and I don't know where to get started, what are some of the steps I should consider when I'm going through the networking piece?
So let's skip and say you found a group or you found different business associations, or you're just out in the community. I mean, one of the biggest things to do is, again, be authentic to yourself, right? See how you can provide value to others.
Okay.
Again, we all like to receive, or too many people like to receive. And there's nothing wrong with receiving, but you got to be a giver as well, right? See how you can provide value. And once you're able to provide value to someone, it's not even going to be like you're in sales or anything that's, that you have to tiptoe around, right? And that's just really, I say all that to say, provide value. Know how to provide, see what value you can provide to someone.
So, some people say how you handshake, when you approach personal space, Is there any techniques to your style about when you're in that room? Do you keep an eye on somebody and say, okay, I want to meet that person, and then you beat feet over there, and then the magic happens?
It's funny you said it. It's kind of like dating, right?
Right.
You over there, young ladies across the room.
Right.
Y'all catch eyes a little bit, but y'all don't say nothing. What do you know? You got to be over there. You need to make your way over there. Some say
Pronto. Pronto.
I say that as a joke. It's real, but it's just like even in a room and you're catching eyes with a couple business people.
Sure.
Right? And you may not be over there to introduce yourself yet, but you're going to make it over there. Now, even to the contrary, it could be a situation where someone is not making eye contact, someone is standoffish. Well, guess what? Assert your dominance in that room. Let's say, hey, I'm here. This is my name. You don't have to say anything after that, but you stand solid, shake hand, whatever it is that you do, and they're going to know who you are.
You know, a lot of young entrepreneurs, they get in the room, they have every intention to network, but the fear comes up on them. And maybe they should, before they get in there, establish how many people you want to connect with. And sometimes it's not about shoving that card in their face. The new thing to do is what? They have these blinks, and they have the digital cards. Do you use those?
Listen, I don't even go that far. I got an iPhone, Team Apple, I'm not going to lie.
Team Apple. Hold on now. We got to put a disclaimer out real quick. Because listen, when I'm teaching and I'm doing workshops and I say who got an Apple phone, the Droid folks raise up, they go crazy. So for the sake of this quick tutorial,
That's funny.
you know, Apple have products and apps. Droid have products and apps. But go ahead with the Team Apple.
So when your phone, every phone has a card, right? Every phone has an identifier for that phone. And I just basically have all my information. I have everything but my blood type is a joke I like to say. Right? You get my office address, you get all my social media, URLs, you name it, right? And I just share that. And what that helps me do personally, it allows me to, because once I text it out, one, I get your number. So I get to control the conversation. It's not give a card out and you got to hope that person, what's that person's name? Like, no, you have it in your record. So by the end of the day, if you're following up, you say, hey, it was a great meeting you, so on and so forth. And now your picture's already there. They know who you are. If they forgot who you are.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying? That's just my method. I'm not saying that it works for everybody, but it works for me.
Well, moving forward in today's climate, people use what they call CRMs, contact relation management thing. So if you get that card and you sync your phone with your CRM, you can start delivering them information about what you're doing, so you're always top of mind. So I like the way you take the Apple card and you share it with them. Now, I've always had this conversation with some folks. Let's shift to social media, but we're still networking. So you still want to go ahead and give somebody a social media handle.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when people follow me, they follow you, maybe you don't follow back. So do you use a strategy when you have any networking, if they go to IG or something, you have them go there on their phone and follow you immediately? That way, when you get home that evening, you can go back and follow back. How's that strategy work in your mindset?
With me, I'll let you know what my handle is.
Right.
Whether you choose to follow me or not, that's on you. I don't make it to where I'm forcing you to. I would love you to, right? But 9 times out of 10, I feel like depending on our circle, you're probably going to see me enough that you're going to end up following me anyway, right? That's just my confidence. But let's say, for example, we meet, you follow me. Right then and there, I'm probably going to follow you right back just so we can stay connected, right? And again, I'm no social media guru, but people take advantage or not take advantage. People don't understand the advantages of social media, how it just helps people stay connected.
Yeah.
Right. And that's just something that I've leveraged in the beginning of real estate, just kind of building that out, because I've created, some of the best relationships that I have through social media as well.
That's true. Since we're on the topic of networking, we might as well keep diving into it. So some people, when they network, they like taking people with them, a friend. So, hey, let's go over here to this chamber meeting. And then when they get there, those two just stay there and talk to each other. What do you recommend if you go in pairs, in Noah's boat, go 2 by 2, so that you have somebody to roll with? But when you get there, should you separate or should you stay together?
That's a good question. And I think it depends on your personality and who you're there with, who they know, right? Who you know, so on and so forth. But let's say I'm in a room, we go together, and I know some people, I would say stay attached with me so I can introduce you to some people as well.
That's true.
And vice versa. If we're in the room and I don't know many people, but you do, stay attached. But then as you meet new people, then you branch out, because now you've just started, let's say, 5 new relationships where you can go branch in over there, and who knows who they're around. They just met you, but if it's a solid energy there, they're like, hey, this is, somebody I just met. And then that's just how the web really goes.
They call it the web now. Can I share the experience with you? Right? Me and my wife, we both in real estate. And she doing her thing at her level, I'm doing my thing at my level. When we network, we decided, we made a conscious decision. When we enter a room, the first 3 to 5 minutes, we're just detoxing, getting observant, taking a look at the room. Then we immediately separate. Because a lot of times, people might want to speak to me, and she's there, and it kind of a little awkward because they don't want to not acknowledge the other person. So when she goes one way and I go another way, we kind of meet to the middle. And then if there was something we have to share with each other, it's like, hey, I want you to meet somebody that I met. Then I take her, we go over there. If there's somebody she needs me to meet, then she takes me with her. So we're actually getting more treadway. Have you found out that maybe for couples or for friends, that's a strategy that can be easily adopted?
It's funny, that's probably the first time I've heard that, and I think that's genius, right? And that's just a testament to show you that there's multiple ways of doing something, right? There's no one way that you got to do it, but you got to find what works for you, right? What you just said, that's a way that works for you guys, that's right, which is perfect. Now I'm gonna see how I can implement that. And I think some of the best things in our lives is like, all right, you don't have to, really do everything someone else does. Take a piece that you know that you can make fit. Take a piece from here, take a piece from here, and make it your own.
So what about this thing called follow-up at the end? If you've done all of this networking, you got these cards, these digital cards, and you don't take the time, the next 12, 24 hours to try to anchor that down, what is the distraction or the takeaways that might be able to be detrimental by not following up?
Oh man, they're not gonna remember you. Right, depending on what you guys spoke about, that's not gonna be top of mind. Like, the money's in the follow-up, and it's not even the money's in the follow-up. It's not even just in regards to sales, right? No matter what it is that you do, the money's always in the follow-up.
But I don't like the follow-up, Chris. Why can't they call me?
Man, listen, it's easy. Go drop a text. Hey, pleasure meeting you. Like I said earlier, pleasure meeting you. Let's grab coffee, right? I started with coffee because not everybody drink, but guess what? Depending on what they like, you say, hey, let's go grab lunch. Let's go grab a cigar. Let's go, get around and golf, and just find out through your initial conversation, you should know exactly what that person, what their interest may be, right? What you could do. So again, I say all that to say the money's in the follow-up.
Money's in the follow-up. I like that. I like the fact that if you're hearing this, and this is a big takeaway, that the money's in the follow-up. So if you're not following up and you did all this networking, what are we doing? We're actually just spinning wheels. I'm gonna get ready to close this out, but I like how this bloomed into a scenario where we're talking about networking, but your brand is still important to me. So if I'm in Chicago and I want to connect, how do I do that so I can start rocking the merch?
Well, you can follow me at This Realtor is Dope on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. All right, but also you can go to my website, thisrealtorsdope.com. As far as real estate is dope, that merchandise website is going to be coming soon.
Nice.
So stay tuned. But you can reach out to me directly if you do want something right now.
Okay.
Because again, real estate is dope. It's something that I've created because one, I couldn't, trademark This Realtor is Dope because of the word realtor.
Yeah, realtor, protected class.
But real estate is dope. I mean, it just touches on everything real estate, right? Even if you're not in the real estate industry, but you know the powers of real estate, it touches on all of that.
Love it.
So that's a way that you can, get a hold of it.
If you had to share, a couple of thoughts in closing that you would want to share with my audience about anything you want to talk about, because I know you're a real estate professional and you're into finance and you're doing some other things, what are some thoughts you would leave the audience with?
I mean, the biggest thing that I always say is be yourself.
Be yourself.
Find out who you are, what you want to accomplish, and be yourself. But also build a brand that embodies who you are. Don't try to build something else that other people can be adept to, if that makes any sense, right? Build something that speaks to you, again, and you do that by being yourself, and you be able to figure that out.
So in other words, reduce the assimilation piece and increase the authenticity of who you are, because it will pay you back. Because if you're not who you are, it's going to show eventually 100%. That you're not genuine. And it will discourage people from doing business with you. Would you agree?
100%.
So whatever you do in your career, your life, to make money, to have friends and relatives, just remember this. Nobody else is like you. And what you bring to the table is unique. We all learn from each other. And I encourage everybody to decide today who you want to be and how you want to go about being that person. And if you ever need to reach out to me, again, my name is Oliver. Most people call me the coach. You can reach me on any platform at Oliver Adams Coach, or Coach Oliver Adams. And I appreciate y'all joining in. And Chris, without a doubt, you are and still is one of the smoothest real estate agents I've ever met. And I tell you right now, and if you don't know him, real talk, you might want to get to know him, because about a year from now, it's going to be hard to get in the room and get to know him, because you're going to have gate guards there.
Hey, speaking into existence, I'm all right with it.
You cool with that? Yeah, put some barriers around it, because it's growing. Again, y'all, appreciate you dialing in. Thanks. I know it's a short podcast, but we're building it up, and we appreciate you sharing, liking, subscribing, and passing it along. We'll give you some more good stuff with some great people. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Salute.